It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
This next question is from Mary. Mary says, my husband says to attack the mortgage and pay off the house early.
It's noticing a trend.
I disagree and want to add more money towards our kids' 529 accounts. We've maxed out all of our retirement accounts. Which one is better? He's in his mid-40s. I am in my mid-30s. So we got two different ages here to take into account. So do you prepay mortgage, attack that and knock that out, or do you fund 529s, and how do you decide which of those to do?
Well, Mary's given us a few more breadcrumbs here that actually makes this a very intriguing question, because I can already tell, based upon how Mary has structured this question, because we know with the financial order of operations, you don't even really consider mortgage payoff until you get to step 9, which is low interest debt, which is what mortgage debt is.
Yep.
This is 2 to 3% range. Well, then Mary threw in another interesting thing, is talking about funding the kids. 529s. Well, that's a step 8 of the financial order of operations. All those things occur after you made it through step 1 through 7, which means you've got your emergency reserves taken care of. You maximize all the retirement savings opportunities with the Roth IRAs, the HSAs, and all that great stuff. So you've even got to step 7, which is the hyperaccumulation, where you're thinking about the 3 bucket strategy.
Yep.
So all those boxes, I'm assuming, based upon the way Mary asked the question, have been checked.
Yep.
So now we get to a very interesting of who's right. Help us break this tie of should we be saving more for the kids, or should we be prepaying this low interest debt, especially since my husband is over 45.
He's in his mid-40s, yep.
You've told me he's probably in that stage where he wants to simplify his financial life, and you guys have given permission. Guys, this is a tougher one because you've done so well on so many of your financial decisions. So I think it's more of a relationship of discussing what's the why, what's the goal on what you expect out of kids and education, is because we have had a number of clients where they come in and they say, I want my kids to pay for half of their college.
Sure.
Because I think they ought to have some skin in this discussion, and so they don't just goof off in college like so many people seem like they do, and they're there for 6 years and have nothing to show for it. They'll take it much more serious if they have their money. Or maybe you're the type of family and parents and you say, I want my kids to hit the ground running, come out of college completely debt-free. You and your husband are going to have those discussions. Figure out what your why is, what the purpose is, what the goals are, because then you can back into what you need to be funding for the kids. And then now that's a much more relevant number to how fast you want to pay off the mortgage. Because, and Bo talks about this all the time. He does a good job of saying it's not an absolute thing either or.
That's
a lot of times you can do a little bit of both. So maybe you and your husband decide, you know what, maybe the actual real goal that we ought to consider is that by the time he's 50, he wants to be completely debt-free. And that gives us 4 to 5 years to prepay this mortgage. That's a much more consumable option, to advance it. And maybe that also allows, now we throw a few $100 extra to the kids' college. That's a win-win situation, and I still think it respects steps 8 and 9 of the financial order of operations, that you can also go download at moneyguy.com/resources, or go get the full course at learn.moneyguy.com.
I have literally nothing to add to that.
Well, good. That makes me feel like I kind of filled up a lot of the answer bucket there.
That was awesome.